Should we start? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفسه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is a continuation of the talk that I started last week because it became overwhelming at points. So at a certain stage, we had to delay it until this week. However, the problem still remains the same. There is such a paucity of understanding of the Qur'anic grammar as well as perhaps English grammar that people become overwhelmed very quickly, even with the basics, the essential basics of the grammar, again, be it English, let alone Arabic. Yesterday, I even told Brother Mamdou that maybe I'll do some other presentation, not this one, and just forget about it, because if it gets to a point where the essential basics are not understood by individuals, then it's very problematic to go beyond that. And I'll have something more to say about this particular subject sometimes later on, maybe giving just a verbal presentation, but that's for later. And he insisted that, you know, for the sake of completeness, try to do what you can to complete this talk. So what I've done is I have kept some of the exhibits from last week, and I have added or simplified some of the exhibits. So any handouts that you folks may have taken, forget about those handouts, even those, quite a few of them may be here or maybe not. And if anybody wants at the end of this, or perhaps in future, a copy of this handout, I will leave here my email address, and you can certainly ask for it. I'll also leave my phone number. You can text it, and I will send you by email a copy of this presentation. So no need to worry about the contents of this presentation. I can email to anybody who wants it, and no need to refer to that handout if anybody has it here. The booklet, yeah, we will refer to the booklet because that's what we are here for. So I'll just now move on to what we have already done. I have already covered the pages 1 through 6 very quickly, and I told you that these pages have huruf, which cannot mean anything unless they are joined with some other word, then they begin to mean. But because they are there by itself and they comprise such a big part of it, it becomes essential, whether we like it or not, to become quite familiar with it, if not memorize it. By the way, I am not asking anybody to memorize anything that I will be talking about, nothing. It's all there, out there. So, and in those 6 pages, some of them are also prepositions. So for example, or pronouns, him, he, she, those are pronouns, which is a subset of nouns, which I said were isms in Arabic. And the next one was pages 7 through 14. These were primarily, well, essentially all isms, or what we call in English noun, but as I elaborated on that last week, that in Arabic, ism is more than a noun because it includes what in English are called adjectives and adverbs and some other things. And by the way, you will see in this page 7 through 14, that the nouns are in singular form, unless in brackets it shows the plural form. But the ones that it doesn't show plural form, there are plural forms to it, obviously, but it doesn't appear there because there are rules how to get those plurals. The ones for which there are no rules, he gives them in the brackets. Those are called broken plurals. They are, anyway, so I'll stop right there on that one. And then I started off with this one on the pages 15 through 33. Again, this is what we are here to talk about. It primarily contains verbs, but it also contains nouns. You may call it the chapter on verbs, but it contains nouns as well. Now, and then I described this key difference, which is very important. So I will repeat it again. So please, I would indulge your attention. So obviously the verb in Arabic, as most of you know, is called fa'l. A fail is a word by definition, whether a verb or a fail is a verb by definition. It has a tense. That is, you can make past tense out of it, present tense out of it, and future tense out of it. And it expresses action. Any word in English or any language that expresses action is a verb, and a verb always has a sense of time. So, for example, when you say write, there is an action of writing. When you say wrote, that's past tense of writing. When you say writes, that's present tense of writing. When you say will write, that's future tense of the verb write. So this is essential. If you kind of get confused on that, then I cannot go forward anyway with this. However, having said that, there is a fundamental difference between the verb as we know in English and the verb as we should know in Arabic. And as I'd mentioned last week, in English, an active verb is a word that expresses an action. Ate. Ate is a past tense. Okay. Writes is a present tense. Will learn. It's a future tense. The English active verb, however, does not identify who was the doer of that action. Who ate? Who works? Who will learn? One has to add the doer of the action. He ate. She writes. I will learn. So in English, the verb by itself will mean nothing except to say, well, ate means ate. But if you want to know who did the action, then in English, you add a pronoun, he, she, I. Or you will add a proper noun, I ate. No, I mean, Yousuf ate, okay? But that's a different, here we are talking only about pronouns, not about proper nouns, just the pronouns. Okay, now, as opposed to that, every active verb in Arabic comes with an inside pronoun that is the doer of the action. When I say comes inside, it means you cannot identify, here, this portion is he. No. The word is only one, but within that word, there is an implied doer of the action. This is very, very, very important that you understand that, okay? So, as I said last week, akala, one word, but in English, it will translate as he ate. In English, you will use two words. In Arabic, you use one word to mean he ate. Not just eat. Aktubu means I write, not just write. Yet this understanding deep inside your head, because it is absolutely essential for you to realize that a verb word in English by itself, you cannot get, it's not a sentence. It doesn't make sense. Ate doesn't make sentence. First question is, well, who ate? In Arabic, there is not an ate. There is either he ate, she ate, and all these are just one word, okay? They ate, one word, although it's a longer word, yakuluna, they said, okay, but it's still one word. But in English, when you translate it, two words, okay? So an active verb in English, meaning when I say active, it means that there is an action. An active verb, and you know the doer. An active verb means there is an action, verb, there is action, and there is a doer, identified. So an active verb in English, for example, ate is not a complete sentence because the doer is not identified. However, an active verb in Arabic is a complete sentence because it identifies the doer of the action as well. So in akala, you may not see the he, but you intuitively know that it means he ate. Two words in English, one word in Arabic. This is very fundamental and it is very basic, but people forget this and all hell breaks loose when they move forward. Now, I have here what I have here, but I'll tell you this, that in this booklet on pages 15 through 33 that we are discussing, I don't want you to open it. There are 5 columns. There are only 5 columns in each one. Obviously, it is important that we know what these columns are. In other words, we need to give them name. We need to identify what those 4 columns are. Those 4 columns are, as I show in this exhibit, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first column that you will see, for example, if you say he wrote in English, you will only see over in the first column, kataba. If it is kataba in the first column, it's a past tense. If you translate it in English, it will be 2 words, he wrote. And we call it active past tense because when we translate it, you can see who it is that wrote. Wrote shows you past tense. I'm saying active because you are able to identify who it is that wrote. Is that clear? Okay. This is very fundamental, particularly for number 1. From that on, active present tense. 1 word in Arabic in the column 2. And I'll go into that later. He writes. 2 words in English. Okay. Writes tells you it's a present tense. He, because the doer has been identified, we call it active present tense. Okay. The third column on page 15 through 33 is a command verb. This command verb does not appear in English. We have a command verb in here because in Quran there is a lot of commanding as well as there is a lot of forbidding. A command verb in English would be, as I put it, translated, write with an exclamation mark. So you see, there is no command verb unless you put an exclamation on it. Okay. Now, so you will see here that in this verb, I don't show any he or she or whatever. And the reason for that is when I say write, I will not say she write. In other words, the person who is not there, she, I will not say write. I will not say I write. I don't command myself. I only command you. So when we use a command verb, it is only addressed to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he commands to you. Okay. So it is only you. There is no he or she in command verb. In English, there is an exclamation point for command verb. In Arabic, it is always, a command is always given to you. Obviously, you know, how can I give command to somebody who is not here? And how can I give command to myself? Rhetorically, philosophically, you can command yourself, you know, behave yourself, Yousuf. Yeah, you can do that. But grammatically, no. Grammatically, you can only address a command to, in Fajr, in Dua Qunut, the word irham was coming in. Taqabbal was coming in. Both of those are command verbs. Now, why is a command verb being used in a dua, in asking Allah for something? This is the beauty of what Allah's mercy is. He has put a word for your pleading, because we are pleading. Give me mercy. But grammatically, he is using as if you are commanding him. And the reason why he is accepting it as a pleading, knowing very well that you're when you speak, it's like as if you're commanding him. It's like a child. When he is standing in front of it, he wants something, and he says, I want it with an exclamation mark. I want it. He even stomps his foot. I want it. This is how we are pleading to Allah. And he says, fine, I know he's pleading even though he's using a command verb. Do you get the message? In that pleading, even though we are pleading, he allows us to use word as if we are commanding him. You better do this for me, Ya Allah. You are commanding him. But actually you're pleading. But in grammar, the command verb is written as if it's a command. Whenever we do a command in our dua, say it's not a command verb, it's a pleading verb. But linguistically, it's a command verb. Is that clear? This is very important for reading Quran. The fourth one is writer. who is doing the writing. In English, we call it active participle, okay? 90% of you may not know what active participle is. I'm telling you, it's the doer of the action. So in this case, the writer is the one who is doing the action. And what is the action? Writing. So active participle is nothing but the doer of the action. Okay, is that clear? And number 5 is what I call writing in English, writing / to write, the process of writing itself. The process of writing itself is a noun. It's called a verbal noun in English. And I also put in parentheses an idea. So when we talk about Islam, Islam is a verbal noun. It is the idea of surrendering. It's the idea of submitting. Okay. So to surrender, people say to surrender is Islam. Okay. That is noun. It is not a verb, it's a noun. So when I say writing, when I write writing, it's not I am writing, not that writing, because that writing comes with M. Writing, my writing is good. That writing, my writing is noun. My writing is good. So that's it. My Islam is good. Okay, Islam. So it's the idea of the process of that is called a verbal noun. Now, I have spent extra time on this because these are the 5 definitions of the 5 columns on page 15 through 33. If you have those booklets, when you go home, you may write down on top of it any which way you want to these active past tense, active present tense, command verb, active participle, or verbal noun idea on top of each of those pages. And however you want to, don't write active participle, you say write doer. It's up to you. So this booklet only has 5 columns. And those 5 columns I just defined, which are as I defined. This booklet also shows how to do additional 3 columns, but it doesn't do them for you. And those 3 are passive past tense. It was written. In Arabic, when you want to say it was written, or in English, when you say it was written, the doer is not identified. It was written, okay? The next one is passive past tense. It is written, or it is being written. Who is doing the writing? We don't know. Passive participle is the opposite of active participle. The writer does the writing, and something that is being written is the passive participle. Or if you want to take it very simply, the teacher does the teaching, and the one who receives the teaching is called the student. But what is happening? The teaching is being done to the student. So active participle is the doer. Passive participle is that which is being done to. Okay. So something is being written. Okay. Something is being written. Like kitab is being written. So in this case, if you say kitab is being written and you know that kitab is the best, then that is a passive participle. Some people call it objective ism, and some people call active participle as subjective ism in English come Arabic. These 3 columns are not in this booklet, but this booklet shows how you can go and develop those 3 columns for you. Is that clear? And we will see how to do it. The booklet will show us. 9 and 10 are not given in this columns, if you will, nor does it even show you how to do them. Therefore, for the purposes of this booklet and purposes of this, we will forget about these, but know that there are 10 columns. Only 5 are shown here. 3 additional they show you how to do it, and the other 2 are not shown. No harm done, because if you just get 5 columns, consider yourself hugely ahead of the game, okay? Now, in English, when you write wrote, you cannot make any sense of it, so you have to write he wrote. but in Arabic, we will only use one word, okay? And that is, for example, in case of writing kataba, one word. But now you have to do the translation, say he wrote. So then kataba has some other things that you should know. Because kataba has got he in it, he here is singular, it is not plural. Get it? He. It's not they. The noun he is masculine, obviously, it's not feminine. And the noun he is third person. It is not second person, that is you, and it is not first person, that is I or we. This is very important. You don't get that in English, but in Arabic, you have to know that because he is embedded in the verb. So you have to know that in kataba, there is a he, and that he is a singular, that he is a masculine, and that he is a third person. Is that clear? Very simple, but very fundamentally important, okay? So now what I've done is, this continuing is, the second and third column we just went through. In the first column, all I'm doing is I'm saying that in he wrote or in kataba, it is an active verb because you know who is the doer, because it's in it. And as you saw in the translation, the doer has been identified. So you know who the doer is. It's a singular, masculine, and third person, and it's a past tense. So he wrote or kataba is a verb which is SM3. He writes, it's SM3. That's clear. Write, it's singular, it's masculine, but it is not third person. As I told you about command verb, you can only command that who is in front of you. So you can only command you. I can only command you. So it's a second person. Know that a command verb will be here in this booklet is singular, it's masculine, it's second person, because it's always second person. It's not first person, never third person.
When you say masculine, is it masculine or is masculine encompassing the feminine as well?
No, it's masculine, okay? Masculine encompasses male. Feminine encompasses female, but masculine also encompasses many other things like table, sky. All those nouns in Arabic are either masculine or feminine.
What do you use for
and in
feminine? Is there a feminine command word?
No, command word is only to you. Okay. Yeah.
Why is it called masculine? Just that's how it is.
Unless it is feminine. When I give a command, unless it is feminine, it will be masculine. If it is feminine, you will know it. Okay, if you know the Arabic. Let me just move on.
One more question on the page 15 or some page, the last 105, 29.
No, these are the total times this word or combination of this word appear in Quran.
Oh,
but I'm talking on top, you put those definitions, okay? Active participle writer. Obviously, in this case, it's a singular he, masculine, and it's a third person, not I, not you, it's third person. And finally, the noun, verbal noun. It's an idea, the idea of writing. It's a noun. Like, for example, it's Islam. Islam is singular, okay? And Islam is masculine, okay? You can call it masculine unless otherwise, for some reason, it is feminine, then you will know it. But for all practical purposes here in this booklet, you consider it feminine. Those are the only 5 definitions, and I put them in brackets as to tell you what is the, whether it's singular or plural, masculine, feminine, first, second, or third person, okay? The next 3, we will see how they are formed, but they are not here in column forms. And the last 2 are not here. Now, I'm not going to discuss this. These are exactly the same thing, except now in the second column, I have put the Arabic word for active past tense, فعل ماضي فعل مضارع أمر اسم فاعل مصدر فعل ماضي مجهول فعل مضارع مجهول اسم مفعول nahi and zarf. Those are the 10. So these are for you. Anybody interested in can look them up in Arabic, and you have those in Arabic. Okay, so that's that. So now I'm only going to take the 5 which are on these pages. Okay. Now on, like as I say, on pages 15-3, each row is by columns: past tense, present tense, command verb, active participle, and verbal noun. Got that right? Now, if you open your booklet on page 15 and look up what I say is each row is past tense, present tense, command verb, active participle, and verbal noun. And it starts from right, because now we are reading Arabic. So when I say past tense, it is the one on the right. Okay. So I'm taking an example from page 1, row 2, Fataha. Okay. Fataha, by definition, we know, because it's in first column, it's past tense. So if you want to translate it, it will say he opened. Yaftahu is the second word. It's in the second column, same row, second column. He opens. Why? Because we have told you that the second column is present tense. Third column is iftah, it says. In English, open with an exclamation mark. Why? Because it's a command verb. Fatih, opener, the one who opens. The doer, the one who opens. Here it is he, because these are all he's, as I put it. Fateh here, opener, is a he. It's a singular, it's a masculine, and it is he, third person. The fifth one, I'm sorry, it says fathan, or most of the time we don't speak the tanween, we say fath. The fatha is the opening, which is why Surah Fatiha, which opens the Quran, is called Surah Fatiha. The opening, the idea of the opening, that's fatha. It's a noun. Fatha also means victory. So fatha, the idea of victory, is a verbal noun, what is called here a verbal noun. Now, if you, for example, were to use victory, then Fateh is the victor. Okay. Iftah, you cannot easily translate that. Yaftaho, he is doing victory, if you will, or he did victory, meaning he was victorious. So you get the message. This is as simple as that. Those 5 columns are as simple as that. So when I say down there, Fataha, he opened, all the words in first column are active past tense verb. So the first column, all of them are active past words. Second word, third column, fourth column. So once you know that this is past tense, this is present tense, this is all of the rows, it is true for all of the rows. So if you know that, you now have the meaning of the word, and you know what these words mean. Okay. Now, you may write on top of each column what these words are, as I told you before. So I'm not going to go through that again. Now we move to what we need before we move any forward on the booklet. So let's forget about the booklet and let's focus here. All these pages, 15 through 39, are verbs which comprise what we call in Arabic, in English, families of verbs, or sometimes we call them forms of verb. Most of Arabic words, this is a fundamental thing, again, have 3 root letters: ka, ta, ba, fa, ta, ha. 3 root letters. Everything mushrooms from these 3 letters. So for instance, root letters of Fataha are fa, ta, and ha. Pages 15 through 33 comprise 2 groups. One is called Mujarrad, another is called Mazid Fihi. Don't be boggled by these terms. We will explain them and they are fairly straightforward. The Mujarrad group in English will be called family 1 or form 1. These are all definitions. There is nothing new in it, just definitions. Pages 15 through 24 in the booklet show Mujarrad family 1. The Mazid Fihi group comprises families 2 through 10. Pages 25 through 33 show Mazid Fihi family 2 through 10. These are all definitions. Is everybody clear on this? Forget about the word Mujarrad and Mazid Fi. Insofar as the definitions are concerned, we know what's the difference between 15 through 24 and 25 through 33. 15 through 24 is a Mujarrad group. It's called family 1. 25 through 33 is called Mazid Fihi group. It comprises family 2 through 10. Obviously, you can see that family 1 is mighty big. It takes about, 9 pages, but it takes only 9 pages or so. I don't know how many words, for the other 9 families. Okay, now, what is Mujarrad and what is? Mujarrad means that there are no extra letters besides the 3 root letters in the third person version of active past tense. Okay, what does it mean? On pages 15 through 24 of this booklet, the first word on each row, which remember was Fataha, that is all the words in the first column, is third person active past tense. You remember now. Fataha, active, third person, active past tense, because you know who's the doer, so it's an active third person past tense. It also happens to be singular and masculine. I told you that. For example, fa'ala, he did, you know is third person because it's a he, singular because it's one, masculine because it's a he, and it's active because you know who the doer is. So in Fataha, same thing. Okay. So this fa'ala is the all that of verb fail, just like Fataha was all that of verb fath. So here he means he did. Now notice this is what I want you to remember. What is Mujarrad? There are no extra letters besides the 3 root letters in Mujarrad family. There are no extra letters besides the 3 root letters, Fa and Lam, in the Mujarrad family for the third person, because this booklet only has third person singular masculine words. It has only singular masculine verbs and it is in third person. So there are no extra letters in the first column. If you go through page 15 through 24, you will find that all the letters, all the words 15 through 24 column 1 have only 3 root letters. So for example, let's say I just pick any page. I pick up page 21. I go to a third column where it shows waqa'a. See, if I go to page 20, I see, let's say, take the word in the middle, it says dhalla. It's not 2 words, it's 3 words, 3 letters, dwad, lam, and lam. Lam appears twice, yes, but this is 3 letters. It doesn't have any extra letters. 15 through 24's first column has no extra letters, only 3 root letters. That is a Mujarrad family. Is that clear? All of these are Mujarrad, first family 1, because in the first column, the words only have 3 letters. Is that clear? Okay. Mazid Fihi means that there are additional letters in the third person version of the past tense. If you go to page 25 through 33, they pertain to families 2 through 10, as I told before. And for example, if you say go to page 26, Now it is, of course, from the Mazid family. Say go to page. Okay, so 26, 27, any page. Let's say take page 27. Let's go down below where you find Aslama. If you go below on the first column, you find Aslama. It does not have 3 root letters. It has 3 root letters plus. Do you see that? Aslama. 4. Adkhala, akhraja, ahsana, absara. 1 more letter than 3. So it belongs to pages 24 through 33. It belongs to families 2 through 10. Which one is which? Is it 2, 3, 4? We'll come to in a minute. So Mazid Fihi family has more than 3 root letters. The first word on each row, that is on the first column, is a third person singular masculine past tense that has 4 letters on page 26, for example. Each of these words has a hamza ahead of its root letters, as you saw. Now let's look at the titles on page 1533. We will also add more on the titles of these pages. So the 5 titles I have already given to you for these 5 columns. If you go look at page 15, the 5 columns have got their names already given to you. One is past tense, one is present tense, one is command verb, one is the doer, and one is the idea of doing. But in Arabic, it says, Fail thulathi mujarrad fataha yaftahu. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed by it. It's only saying it's a verb family which has got only 3 letters, and it's called mujarrad family. So all you need to remember it is on this page, you have mujarrad family, and we choose to call this particular mujarrad family on page 15 as fataha yaftahu. If you look at the second row, the first and second column words are fataha yaftahu. The reason why you like to call this as fataha yaftahu is if you memorize fataha yaftahu, then all of these rest of the rows will become clear to you. Look at this. Ba'asa yab'aso sounds like fataha yaftahu. Ja'ala yaj'alu sounds like fataha yaftahu. So if you know what fataha yaftahu family looks like, just remember fataha yaftahu, and everything for other words will follow. And incidentally, it says ifta, you'll say ibhas, ibas. It says fateh, it says ba'is. You don't even have to remember this because you have remembered fataha yaftahu, and you know that fataha yaftahu is ifta, fateh, fathan. So ba'asa, yabaso will have ibas, ba'is, and now here it says it's ba'san or bas. Is that clear? Why we call it fataha yaftahu? Because we want to memorize those 2 words. And if something else comes in like ba'asa, yabaso, I say, that belongs to the fataha yaftahu family. This is also called subfamily 1. We can call it subfamily 1, but it's a family fataha yaftahu. The 5th column is a problematic column. Sometimes it will sound fatha, bas, sound same, jal, same, jama, same. But then it comes dhihab. This is the difficulty. In order for you to get the true verbal noun for the verb to go, you may have to look at the dictionary for this. And there are quite a few such words that you know, but you will not, which will not follow this rule that I'm saying, that fataha yaftahu, so it will be ba'asa, yabaso, ja'ala, yajalo, jama, yajmo, and all that. In the 5th column, this will not hold true sometimes. For example, look at salaha. Salaha yaslahu sounds like fataha, yaftahu. Islah sounds like iftah. Saleh sounds like fateh. But maslihat doesn't sound like fath. This is unfortunate, but this is the fact. why doesn't maslahat bother me? Because I read Quran so much that when I read maslaha, I know what he's talking about, But if you want to know this grammatically, you'll have to go to the dictionary. That what is maslaha? So maslaha, of course, the act of righteousness is maslaha. But it does not follow this rule that we have generated, with which we have generated so much other rule. It happens sometimes. You will know, if you know a whole lot, read a lot of Arabic, a lot of Quran, you will know it intuitively, but you will not be able to explain it. For it, you'll have to go to the Quran to say, what is the verbal noun for to act righteously? And it will say, maslahat is the verbal noun in Arabic to act righteously. Okay.
Question for you, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Page number 27.
Yes.
About those verbs as mazid fi.
Yeah.
What's special about them? I see absara, but why absara? Why can't it be three-word root letters?
Okay. So when we come to it, we will find that family 4 is defined. It's a mazid fi because there is more than one letter in a family 4, always. If and it is defined by the title that is given on the left. Okay. You see, it says extra on second letter of fa'ala. Do you read that?
So what's special? Why can't? Why
No, let me just finish and clarify. There is a mistake on this page. It just so happens that you picked up a page that has a mistake on its page. This family 4, the way we identify it is that there is an extra hamza before the verb itself. The verb is, for example, aslama, the verb is salama. Okay. When we add an extra hamza and put it before salama, we get aslama. If we say salama, it would say he submitted. Okay. Aslama, there is something more to salama than salama is. This is where understanding various families of mazid fi will come in. There is more to aslama than just saying salama. Okay. Just remember that there is more meaning to aslama than there is to salama. And what that more meaning is, you will only understand it if you do grammar. And they teach you why aslama has got more weight than salama. Know for now that if there is more letters in a verb, there is more to that verb than just a 3-letter verb. That much, okay? All right. So I just told you that this Arabic title that is given to these pages is, just remember it, that this is telling you Thalathi Mujarrad, that is 3 root letters, family Mujarrad, which has no extra letters, the first column that is. And we call page 15 as a Fataha Yaftahu family. Similarly, we call page 16, which continues on to page 17, as Nasara Yansoro family, which appears on the second row. You see, Nasara Yansoro. The reason you remember Nasara Yansoro is when you see Balaga Yablugho, you say, oh, I know, it belongs to the Nasara Yansoro family. And therefore, the next 2 to 3 words will be the same as Nasara Yansoro words sound. So in Nasara Yansoro, you have Unsur, Ublug, Nasir, Balig. Nasr, here, unfortunately, you have to know Bulugh or look up in the dictionary. But if you go to the next row, Tark, that follows Nasr. Hush, that follows Nasr. But then you come to Hukm, that doesn't follow Hakm. No, it's Hukm. You know, Hukm is the verbal noun, the commandment, the process of commandment is, it's judge. Judgment is Hukm. We all know judgment is Hukm. But it does not follow this rule. For that, you would have to go to the dictionary to know that it's not Hakm like Nasr or Tark, but it's Hukm. So for that, you'll have to go into the dictionary. But if you've read a lot of Quran, you know intuitively that it's not Hakm, it's Hukm. Judgment is Hukm, not Hakm. So this particular second family of Mujarrad appears on page 16 and it goes on to page 17. Okay, so I go to this next exhibit to tell you what these are. Page 15 is defined as Fataha Yaftahu family. If you want to give it a Roman numeral, you give it on page 15, it's a Roman numeral family defined as Fataha Yaftahu. In other words, it's big family 1, Roman numeral 1, if you will. Fataha Yaftahu family. 16 through 17, again, Mujarrad family, only 3 letters on the first column. Nasara, and it's called as Nasara Yansoro. Remember, if you see Nasara Yansoro, you say, if you say Balaga Yablogo, the third column, verb, third row, it sounds like Nasara Yansoro. So you say, yes, Balaga Yablogo belongs to the Nasara Yansoro family, which means that the third and the fourth word on this row will be the same as Unsur and Nasir, Ublugh and Balig. And maybe the fifth word, Nasr, it sounds as Balgh, but here it is Bulugh. But Tark, the next row, is following the same Nasr. So Nasr, Tark, Hashr, and all that. This is page 16 through 17. On page 18, you have a third subfamily of big family 1. It's called Daraba Yadrebo. Daraba Yadrebo family. You see the first row, Daraba Yadrebo. Forget about the Fa'ala Yaf'elu, I'll come back to it later. Daraba Yadrebo. Now, what is the difference in the sound of Daraba Yadrebo on Nasara Yansuru and Fataha Yaftahu? If you see, Fataha, Nasara, and Daraba are all the same. The first column sounds all the same. The difference between the first, second, and third family, that is the Fataha Yaftahu, Nasara Yansuru, and Daraba Yadribu, comes in the second letter. Fataha, all of them are the same. Nasara, Daraba. Yaftahu, the second letter, Ta, has got a Fatha on it. Yansuru, the second letter, Swad, has got Dhamma on it. Yadrebu, the second letter Ra, has got a Kasra on it. So the difference between the subfamily 1, 2, and 3 is past tense remains the same. The second, and so the first, second, and third letters are the same. The second, the second column, the second letter changes. In Fataha Yaftahu, Ta has got a Fatha on it. In Nasara Yansuru, Swad has got a Dhamma on it. And in Daraba Yadribu, the third family, Ra has got a Kasra on it. So the change occurs on the second letter. For the second column, the change occurs on the second letter. If you know that, then you know, oh, I know, Fataha Yaftahu, it's a Fatha on the second letter. The Nasara Yansuru, it's Dhamma on the second letter, Swad. Daraba Yadribu, Yadribu has got a second letter, second column has got a second letter, Ra with a Kasra. That's the difference. This is how you will get to know how our Fatha Yaftahu, Nasara Yansuru, and Daraba Yadribu are different in the second column. In the first column, they remain the same. We now go to the next one, which is on page 19. It's called Same'a Yasma'u family. Same'a Yasma'u family. Here now, the first column has changed. Instead of having Sama'a, no. It is Same'a. There are some verbs which will sound like Same'a. And then with the Same'a goes Yasma'u. So this one will have the first column not sound like Sama anymore. It'll be Samea. When you read Samea Allahu liman hamida, Samea. It's not Sama'a. It's not like Fataha. Samea, listen to it, when we are doing the prayers. That is, now the change has occurred on the first column, and then you go to the second column. So when you know the Samea Yasmao, the title, when you have memorized this row, then you say, oh, if I hear Hazina Yahzano, that means it sounds like Samea Yasmao. So the third and fourth column will sound the same. Isma, Ihzan, Same, Hazin. But the fifth column may or may not sound like the same as in Sama. Samia, it's Sama'at. But in Hazina, it's Huzn. In Hasiba, it's Hasb. But in Hafiza, it's Hifz. So now you are getting a little bit complicated as far as the fifth column is concerned. But the fourth family is a Samia Yasmo family, because now the first column has also changed. The second letter of the first column has got a kasra on it. You will find many verbs in Quran which will have this. And so we will call it Samia Yasmo family. We call it Roman numeral 4. Now, when you go to page 20, it doesn't give you those titles, Fail, Fulati, Mujarrad, Samia, Yasmo. Why? Because now it's giving you those verbs in which something has happened. So for example, on page 20, the last two letters of the root are same. This is what on the top it's saying. Here, it is not three different letters. Sa, ma, a, da, ra, ba, fataha, nasara. All these three letters were different from each other. Now you come to those letters, which are still three letters because it's Mujarrad family, but two letters of the root are the same. Hayya, ha, ya, and ya. Go further down. Dalla, dal, lam, and lam. Madda, mim, dal, and dal. So now these are no longer the same as the first four families, because now some of the letters in these verbs are the same. Two of the letters are same, and that particular group is called Muda'if. It's still Mujarrad in the sense that there are only three letters, but two of the letters are the same. The process that we go through in coming up with all the other words is still the same. The first column is still past tense. The second column is still present tense. The third column is still command verb. The fourth column is still the doer. And the fifth column is still the process of doing. Dalla. So it says dalala or dalalat. The process of going astray. For example, it says dwalla. Fourth word in this column of dalla. There's an error there. It should be written as dwalla, not dwalla. Dwalla with a shadda on it. Dwalla is the one who went astray, is Dwalla. Remember in Surah Fatiha, we said Dwalleen. It's plural of Dwalla for all. Dwalleen, those who went astray. Here, Dwalla is he who has gone astray. Dwalla. Dwalleen, it's a combination word. It comes from Dwalla. When you do combination to make it plural, it becomes Dwalleen. This is what you say at the end of the Surah Fatiha. So the complication here is there are some words, some verbs in the Quran which are still three letters, but on page 20 it says that two letters of the root are the same. The process of getting all these words is still the same as I expressed for the first one. You go to page 21. This one is called Mithal. The name of this page is called Mithal. And here it is different. The first letter of the root is Waw or Ya. Waw is a vowel, Ya is a vowel. So for example, Wa the Ra, Ya the Ru. V is a vowel. Wada'a, wow is a vowel. Waqa'a, wow is a vowel. And you don't see ya here because there are very few words that begin with ya, but there are there. And so the difference is still three root letters, but in these words, the first letter is always either wow or ya. And then how you do all this for the rest of the one, it will follow the same, okay? It will follow a template. Now you see on top of Vadara, Yadaro, there is a template. The template means how you do it. So for example, Vadara is just like Wa'ala. If you go to page 20 back, Falla, Darra is just like Falla. That's a template. Then the second one says on page 20, Yakallo, Yakillo. There are two ways you can do the present tense in Mudaif, either Yakallo or Yakillo. So you see, Yakullo, Yaruddo, Yasuddo, Yadurro. I'm looking at second column. But then Yadillo, Yazunno, Yaudo, Yagirro. So it could be either Yafallo or Yakillo. All these which are coming from Fa'alam on the top are called templates. Everything Wazara will be like Wa'ala. Yazaro will be like Yalo. Zar will be like Al or sometimes Il. So for example, Id, Ti, see second Ti, but some will have Fatha. This is called a template. If you want to learn what the template is shown on top. You can go to any of these, it will show a template. On page 19, it says fa'ila, yaf'alu, if'al, fa'il, fil. This is the template. These words will follow this template. Samia follows fa'ila, yasmau follows yaf'alu. Why don't I then ask you to remember fa'ila and yaf'alu? Because you will get confused because it will be the same word that will be appearing on many pages. Fa'ala, same word, fe, ain, and lam. I want you to differentiate by going and making it a yasma, samia, yasmao, or daraba, yadrabo. Know it by that rather than know it by the template. But the template is there for you. So the page 20 has got mudaif, the page 21 has got mithal, and mithal is with one root. First letter of the root is a vowel, waw or a ya. You go then to page 22. It is ajwaf. It's called on top ajwaf, and its definition is the second letter of the root is a vowel, waw or ya. So for example, taba. Alif in taba is actually a waw. Okay. You see, to repent, tauba. The root letters of to repent is ta, waw, and ba. So there is a vowel in it, except that in Arabic you write this like that, but the root letter is a waw. Know that to repent means tauba, and tauba has got waw in the middle. This will be clear if you look at the fifth column. It says ta, waw, ba. So any verb which has got the second letter as a vowel, waw or ya, is an ajwaf, and all of these words here are ajwaf. It's still three-letter word. It's still a mujarrad family. But now the second letter of the root letter will be of the root letters will have a vowel on it. So the taba has got ta, waw, and ba. But when you write it, it sounds it's written as taba, but actually the root letter is waw. Some of them will have waw as a ya as the second letter, which is a vowel. And the fourth one here is naqis, which is on page 23. It's still a mujarrad family one, but here the last letter of the root is a vowel. So misal on page 22, first letter of the root is a vowel. Ajwaf, page 22, the second root letter is a vowel. Page 23, the third root letter is a vowel. Still 3 letters only, except that now these past 4 pages are all got vowels in them. And finally, we go to page 24, and it is called Mahmuz. Mahmuz. Any one of the 3 letters of the root is a Hamza. So for example, Sa'ala. In this Sa'ala, the second root letter is a Hamza. Qara'a. The third root letter is a Hamza. Akhaza. The first root letter is a Hamza. So Mahmuz is a family, still Mujarrad family, because it has got only 3 letters in the first column. But the difference is it is got the second letter as a Hamza. Now look at what, if you have learned what you have learned, Sa'ala, he asks. Yes, alo. Sa'ala, he asked, past tense. Yes, alo, he asks. Sal, ask with an exclamation mark. Sa'il, the one who is doing the asking, the asker or the questioner. Now, if you remember Surah Sa'ala Sa'ilun, what is the name of the surah? Ma'arij. In Surah Ma'arij, the first 2 words are Sa'ala, the first word here, Sa'ilun, which is actually, you can say Sa'il, because you're not saying the tanween here. Sa'ala Sa'ilun. The first word, Sa'ala, the fourth word, Sa'ilun. Sa'ala Sa'ilun. The inquirer inquired. The questioner questioned in English. The Sa'ala Sa'ilun, if you read it in English, it will say questioner questioned, or asker asked, or inquirer inquired. Okay. Now, see another difference here. When we say questioner, as a questioner, inquirer inquired, we say inquirer first and inquired next. When we do it in Arabic, it says Sa'ala, inquired, Sa'ilun, inquirer. Huge difference. In Arabic, the doer comes first, Sa'ala, the doer comes afterwards, and what is being done, he asked, comes first. In Arabic, that's what happens. Sa'ala, ask, comes first. Sa'ilun comes second. In Arabic, Sa'ilun, the inquirer, comes first, and asked comes second. So this 3-letter word has got one of its letters as Hamza. Okay. I don't think we'll go any further on this because it's already quite late. It's 8:30. I've taken about 1 hour of it. If you still are interested, and if I still get time next week, otherwise some other time, we'll go through the Mazid Fi. So far, we have covered family 1. All 3 letters in the first column. The first 4 families had 3 different letters. The other families had something different. Either the second letter was different, or the third letter was different, or there was a vowel in it, in the beginning, vowel in the middle, vowel in the end, but still belonging to family 1. All you have done so far is taken care of the family 1, 3-letter words with various variations, which we went through from 15 through 24, okay? I'll stop here, and if I'm given a chance, to those few who will come again sometime, I will finish up the second part of this, and then I'll have something important to say, okay? The reason for my bringing this very arduous punishment for you, which I look back and I say, this is a gift, but it's an arduous punishment right now, is with a certain message, and I'll withhold that message until and unless I have finished, inshallah, within one more session, page 24 through 33. Okay, so we'll stop here. Now, I was thinking that maybe if and when I finish, I will give you this page. That is, you can come and take a picture of it. On it is my name, my phone number, and my email. If you have any question or any clarification you want up until now, feel free to ask me, call me, text me, or email me, and I'll respond to you probably by email, because I'm slow at texting and I hardly ever answer the phone number that I don't know. I never answer the phone number that I don't know, once I get to know it. So it has got that information on it. The second information it has got on it is Quran's Arabic, 10 lectures on YouTube given by Noman Ali Khan. You can go to YouTube and put in Dream Big Arabic Intensive, and it will come in right away. You want to go to day 1. It'll take you 2 to 2.5 hours to listen to that lecture. It's not a tough lecture at all. He's got, mashallah, good sense of humor. He's much younger than you and I. Well, some of us are here in our early to mid 40s, and so he's their peer, but he's as old as my oldest son. This is the best guy in the United States who's doing Arabic, Quranic Arabic. And he's so good that he has gone to at least 10 to 20 other Muslim countries because they've asked him to come and teach them. You can try to learn Quranic Arabic many ways. This is the only way I have learned my Quranic Arabic, whatever I know, from Noman. I began to learn it about 6-7 years ago. And there are 10 lectures on this. By the time, if anybody of here finishes these 10 lectures, you will be amazed at what you know about the Quranic Arabic. Amazed. And then he will tell you, if you want to go more, then there are more that he has on his Bayana Institute. I don't get any money from Nauzabillah, from Noman, nor from Bayana Institute. I'm simply recommending it to you because I believe personally that he has got the best material on Quranic Arabic. And after 10 lectures, if you want to go more, he has them more over there. And if you want to pursue it throughout, he has put I think it is maybe $10 a month subscription on it or something. And you can do as much of Quranic Arabic as you want to. I doubt if most of those who listen to me ever go and do that. I doubt if most of you will do 10 days of Dream Big Arabic Intensive. But if you want to do it, I'm just pointing out and leading you to that. And number 3 on this page, I have got name of a dictionary. It is ridiculous for a Muslim to be reading the Quran and not have an Arabic English dictionary of the Quranic words. It is most ridiculous. It is most ridiculous. And 9 out of 10 don't have a Quranic Arabic dictionary. And out of those 9, most of us do not know how to read the Quranic, the translation, the dictionary, which is a pity. Because in dictionary, yeah, you will get your word, but in Arabic, Quranic Arabic dictionary, you will also get lost. Why? Because the Quranic Arabic dictionary will only have 3 root letters. And from there, when you go to 3 root letters, it will give you many words. From there, you'll have to find out, oh, so now I know, yeah, it's Yah Sabo. I thought I was looking for Yah Sabo. I didn't get it. No, I have to know what the root letters are in Yah Sabo, and they are Ha, Si, Sin, and Ba. You go to Ha, Sin, Ba, and now you will get it. So you will not only get the meaning of the word per se, but you will also get the grammar of the word in it in a good dictionary. Is it a singular? Is it a plural? Is it a first person? Is it a second person? Is it a past tense? Is it a present tense? all that you will get in the dictionary. Shame on us if we do not have Quranic Arabic dictionary in the language we are talking about in English and do not understand what this dictionary says. That is the ultimate shame on a Muslim. The best dictionary in the modern world I have seen is Arabic English Dictionary of Quranic Usage by two prominent, guess who, Egyptians, who are not allowing aid to come from Egypt to Gaza, but they also have scholars like these. May Allah bless them. Al-Said al-Badawi and Muhammad Abdul Halim. Muhammad Abdul Halim also has translated the Quran. This is the best translation of the Quran today for your young children, for your children. If you want a translation which is, not to say this, no nonsense translation, which the younger person will appreciate, it is translation by Muhammad Abdul Halim. Go get it, and you will be amazed at how he has written this. I have it, I follow it very closely, but I don't use it as my go-to Quran because I'm an old man. I use the Quran by Muhammad Asad because it serves two purposes. It has a translation as well as it has commentary, tafsir, but it also has the translation in the beautiful English that I personally like. I respect and I use Muhammad Abdul Halim a whole bunch, and it is the English translation younger people should have, because if they read any other translation, they'll get bored and they'll walk away. I enjoy Muhammad Asad, but I also have Abdul Halim's, and I also have 8 other translations with me. But my go-to translation is Muhammad Asad for 2 reasons. Why? Because it's a commentary, and second, because his English is beautiful. It pleases my heart, okay? There are other translations out there that you can go to. You're welcome to go to. My experience has been, I end up going to these 2. And the third, my second go-to, third go-to is The Study Quran, TSQ, The Study Quran. It also happens to have good translation. It also happens to have a commentary, but there is a reason why I don't make it my go-to tafsir, because it is not the tafsir of the sort that you know. They have sort of collected other tafsirs and they give those. And so you say, well, which one is it? So rather than you getting confused, stick to a tafsir which has just got one tafsir, one man's tafsir, and work with that. I will leave this here. And anybody who wants to pay attention to it, whether it's my name, my email, or the dictionary, take a picture, and that's it. There are some additional ones which one of my dear friends here brought extra ones, which are going to remain extra. And so they're here. I don't know what to do. Is there any place we can leave them here somewhere?
Yeah, we can leave.
Okay, fine. There you so we might as well do the dua here because the dua page was at the end of that. Go ahead, dua.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اخرجنا من ظلمات الجهل والوهم إلى نور العلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وبطاعتك عن معصيتك وبفضلك عمن سواك. اللهم بفضلك ورحمتك عليك مثل الحق والدين. اللهم انصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين يا أكرم الأكرمين. Oh Allah, spread your mercy upon us, shower us with your blessings, increase our knowledge, grant us forgiveness, and reward us with the company of the prophets in the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, forgive our parents and all our friends and relatives who have passed away. Oh Allah, grant them your mercy, make their graves guarded from heaven, and grant them the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, we have many of our friends and relatives who are sick. Oh Allah, we have our son Ma'raj, our son Isa, our daughter Aisha Wani, and many others. Oh Allah, grant all of them full and speedy recovery. Oh Allah, guide our children, protect them, and make them righteous. Oh Allah, we have many of our brethren who are suffering from oppression and injustice. Oh Allah, remove their suffering and grant them peace and prosperity. Oh Allah, we ask you with every name you have elected for yourself, that none of us leaves this gathering, but his pains have been relieved, his worries have been removed, his debts have been paid, his weaknesses have been concealed, his sins have been forgiven, and his needs have been fulfilled. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. والعصر الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.